Hello everyone, this is Ponderonweather coming at you with another update. In this update, we talk about an upcoming snowstorm along with a severe weather outbreak. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family on social media. All right, so let's get started. Here, first of all, let's look at the snowfall map of the last 72 hours. This is Monday morning, the 15th. And this snowstorm was everything that was forecasted. I was talking about, 18 to 24 inches back just last Monday, actually, in Denver. Ended up being 27 inches in Denver. It was the fourth biggest all-time on record there. I had 30 inches in Cheyenne. It ended up being 36 inches. So this thing overperformed, and that was the biggest snowfall in history for them all time. So, yeah, but you can definitely see this was a very impressive storm for this time of year. These dots here kind of reflect the different snowfall amounts, but all these in black here are 3 feet and above. But even places into New Mexico got up to a foot of snow. So definitely a big snowstorm that went across over the last couple of days. So let me kind of show you the temperatures as of this morning. You can definitely see it's definitely cooled down in New York, 25 degrees, 21 in Pittsburgh. I mean, even 45 in Los Angeles. That is a chilly morning for them. 37 in Seattle. So you can definitely see across the board, we're starting to see that cool down on the backside of that low pressure system. We're starting to see those colder temperatures kind of filter in. So let me kind of walk you through. We've been kind of talking about the SOI index for a while now. We first talked about it probably over a week ago. We kind of set the stage. It went negative back on February 25th, and this is a lagging indicator. And what this does is it activates the southern specific jet. And so we started to see those rain showers entering Los Angeles, going into Phoenix, as well as San Diego, and that set up the stage for an amplified, rain amounts in the south. And this is continuing pushing, and this Southern Oscillation Index continues to fall. I mean, you can definitely see by the February 25th timeframe, it's been progressively trending negative for the last 2 weeks. And that is just amplifying the Pacific jet. So what that does is, here's the ENSO. I mean, we were in a what they call a weak La Nina, but ever since the SOI dropped, it has had a substantial uprise, trending towards more of an ENSO neutral. And so that is definitely activating, like I mentioned, the Southern Oscillation, jet, pushing the rain showers further south. And you can definitely see this starts out the Pacific, but as it trends further into the United States, we saw that, the rainfall for the last 7 days along the California coast here, where they had some much needed rain in Los Angeles and San Diego. But that also is kind of moving across now into Texas, and where you're seeing, those flooding rains in Missouri, and that will continue moving across, and that'll set the stage for our big rain event and, unfortunately, severe weather outbreak into the southeast. So the SOI was definitely give you plenty of heads up. This was actually going to happen. So here's the MJO, which is the Managula oscillation. It's been kind of taking its sweet time. It's been in phase 8 here. It's been fairly warm phase, but it is trending more into a one, going into a colder phase that we kind of been talking about, after the middle of the month. So this still has to continue moving across in some of the colder phases. You can definitely see as it goes into phase 1, goes into phase 2, and goes into phase 3 as we go towards the end of the month. That is definitely looks like a little bit colder pattern on the way, even though some of the models actually don't reflect that. But that's what's showing in some of the teleconnections. So as we continue, here's the surface map. And so this is later on today for Monday, March the 15th. that same, dumping that was over Colorado now is going to be over Minnesota with some heavy snowfall into portions of southern Minnesota, getting into Iowa as well, and even more snow for Chicago. I mean, probably talking another 1 to 3 inches coming up for you into Chicago as this continues moving across throughout the day on Monday. So as we go into Tuesday, that same system will continue moving across. That'll get into portions of the Ohio Valley now, getting into Pennsylvania with predominantly rain because it'll be warmer temperatures, but we're definitely trending a little bit colder. But now our sight set on this low pressure center out here because we have another upcoming snowstorm that we got to talk about, and that low will be taking a beeline. This is going to travel a lot faster than the one previous. And so this is not going to dump as much snow because it's going to be hard to beat, 27 inches. But yeah, it's going to be setting up for more snow into places like into, Arizona, more snow into Utah, and then also eventually creep into the higher elevations into Colorado again, as well as Wyoming. That is coming up on Tuesday morning. So as we continue the day, into Tuesday afternoon, that gets a little bit closer and taps into a little bit more of that Gulf moisture, and that'll be bringing some little bit heavier snows starting to enter the picture back into places like Denver again. Not really heavy snow, but yeah, they could be picking up another 1 to 3 inches possible in Denver coming up on, later into the day on Tuesday, going into the wee hours of the morning on Wednesday morning, as well as Wyoming. So they don't definitely need any more snow. But luckily, this is be a quick mover. And this will continue moving across, but it actually kind of dives down into the Texas Panhandle. So I'll show you here in a little bit. But about ahead of that, we're going to have to be dealing with some severe thunderstorms because we still have those warm Gulf temperatures going to be working with. So on Tuesday, the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk for severe weather in much of Oklahoma City, Wichita, Kansas, Norman, Oklahoma. So a good chunk of Oklahoma is going to be under the gun for severe weather. Now it tails off a lot as you get in, say, to the Dallas-Fort Worth area into Waco, because a lot of this system is going to be coming across in the wee hours of the morning, and they're going to be a little bit more elevated. So it's definitely not you're going to probably see strong thunderstorms, but maybe not severe thunderstorms, because a severe thunderstorm basically implies 60 mile per hour winds, a 1 inch of hail or greater. And yeah, they're going to be strong, but I don't think they're going to be severe in the Dallas-Fort Worth area into Waco as this continues moving across in the wee hours of the morning on a Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So as we go through the day on that Tuesday, that's why we're going to have to be setting the stage for that severe weather, because these temperatures are going to be well into the 70s, if not almost approaching 80 degrees. And that's going to be setting the stage for those higher dew points and tapping into that Gulf moisture. But we are got a cool down on the way on the back side of that. So there's definitely some cooler temperatures. They're going to be on the table, but before that, we're going to have to be dealing with snow. Yes, snow that we've been kind of hinting at after the middle of the month back into Texas. And yes, this looks like it takes a beeline into the Texas Panhandle, where where they were dealing with, all kind of tornadoes. Just the other day, I think they had 17 confirmed tornadoes. Yeah, believe it or not, by Wednesday morning, goes into Amarillo by morning, right? That's the song. So they're going to be seeing some snow creeping back into the picture in places like Amarillo, especially, say, into Dalhart, getting into Santa Fe, New Mexico, are going to be seeing some snow. Extreme portions of the Oklahoma Panhandle, getting into Kansas here. Yeah, they're going to be picking up some snow with this secondary system as this continues moving across. And as we get into the day on a Wednesday, this just gets a little bit further south and deepen and going into the Texas Panhandle by then with some of those heavier snows. I mean, we're talking possibly 2 to 3 inches, and Amarillo, a little bit higher amounts as you go towards the extreme portions of the Texas Panhandle. I'll show you those amounts here in a little bit. But yeah, out ahead of it, you're going to have to be dealing with those elevated rains and, unfortunately, that severe weather threat, which would be a big one. I mean, all the dynamics are in place for Dixie Alley, the southeast regions of a potential, major severe weather outbreak. I mean, the dynamics are looking really great with this system, unfortunately. So I'm going to give you, plenty of advanced warning. Now, this is Monday, so we're talking Wednesday. So you have several days to prepare to get your, plan B, plan B in place of a weather radio. Just always have a plan B for that day and just be kind of on high alert, because you could be under the gun for a significant, severe weather outbreak. And the Storm Prediction Center, even on day 3, has already highlighted an enhanced risk for severe weather for a good chunk of, say, Memphis, Tennessee, into Birmingham, Alabama. Much of Mississippi is going to be under the gun for severe weather, and like I mentioned, this is probably going to be be upgraded to a moderate risk probably by tomorrow as we get closer to the event. So there's just a lot of ingredients that are going to be coming together all at the same time to, unfortunately, probably have a pretty significant severe weather outbreak like we had in portions of the Texas Panhandle just the other day. So as we continue the day, getting into Thursday morning, that same system will be traversing across into, getting further into Kansas as this pushes into the Ohio Valley with rain, as well as the Mid-Atlantic. And as this continues moving across on Thursday, we'll see those rain showers enter into, more of them into the Mid-Atlantic, getting into Pennsylvania, getting into New York. This is on Thursday, the 18th. So after that, things get fairly kind of interesting. So here's the high temperatures for Thursday. You can see this polar jet dipping down into the northeast with these are high temperatures. This is like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday with these teens and, single digits in southeastern Canada. That's going to be filtering down throughout the day, going into the overnight, getting into Friday with some much cooler air. As that system moves across, you can see on the backside, definitely colder temperatures, 60 degrees instead of, 75 and 80 degrees. So a good 15 to 20 degree drop on the backside once that snowstorm kind of moves across, and once that severe weather threat ends, then you got a much cooler, more pleasant temperatures. You're going to be, feeling like on the backside coming up on Thursday. So as we continue into Thursday, but out ahead of it, where those warm temperatures are going to still be in place, unfortunately, that severe weather threat just continues moving further to the east, and that'll be under the gun by, for Thursday, the 18th, into places like Jacksonville, Florida, getting into Charlotte, North Carolina, all along the coast. You're going to be under the gun for that same severe weather threat. Probably not as intense as what they saw in the southeast, but still could be picking up, all 3 modes of severe weather. So here's your snow. So this is just between now, we're talking, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just over the next 4 days of that secondary snow is going to be dropping between now and the 18th. You can definitely see some of the snow in the higher elevations of the Sierras. That'll extend into portions of, like I said, Arizona, places like Flagstaff, getting into even Albuquerque, New Mexico, getting especially into Santa Fe. Some of the higher elevations here in New Mexico is going to be picking up some heavier snows. I'm calling for maybe 2 to 3 inches in Amarillo, and then probably closer to 5 to 6 in Dalhart, Texas, as this continues moving across. But some of these amounts could be fairly high, of 6 to 8 inches. Denver, I'm thinking 1 to 3 inches on top of what they just had. And as this continues moving across, some of the higher amounts, you can kind of see the graph here, to 8 to 10 inches is not out of the question. And portions of South Dakota, getting into portions of Minnesota, especially into Iowa, those snow amounts have actually increased from yesterday. So let me kind of walk you through Friday, because like I mentioned, things kind of get interesting for the Northeast. I've been kind of highlighting this 19th time frame for a while, because I do think colder temperatures are going to be in place, but we're having model, disagreement with this. But based on the SOI, based on, the MJO, I do think this is going to be a little bit more snow involved rather than implying more rain. So as this is the latest European model, as this continues through getting into the overnight hours on Thursday, going into Friday morning, you can definitely see it's going to be predominantly rain over much of the mid-Atlantic, getting into the northeast. And as we go through the, get into Friday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning here, you can definitely see some of the kind of the rain transferring over to snow into the northeast. I mean, look at the temperatures. I mean, here's the morning temperatures on the 19th. And I do like the icon model for temperatures. I don't like it for precipitation, but that has good bearing on these shallow cold air masses this time of year in March. And I do feel like this is going to be a little bit more correct than some of the other modeling. So we're having model disagreement on how this is all going to come together. But I do feel more of this is going to be snow rather than rain. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, you can definitely see some of the colder temperatures going to be filtering into the northeast. And here's your highs on Friday in the northeast based on the latest icon model. And it has you guys staying below freezing for a good chunk of the day. So that's why I feel like, a lot of this, what's showing up as rain is going to be a little bit more snow than what it's actually showing up in some of the modeling of, say, the latest European model. But as we get into the day on, the Saturday with your first day of spring, you can definitely see those colder temperatures keep trending to the southeast, and where you were experiencing those 70, 80 degree high temperatures. Yeah, we're talking 50s, even 40s in the Carolinas. So that is a welcome, cool down that's going to be on the way. So here's your precipitation. So we talked about the activated SOI index going negative, and there's your trend. Right. And so here's your data going forward as the SOI continues to drop, and it's a lagging indicator. So it's been negative for a while now. So that's continuing to push across with the amplified rains into the California coast, not just in the Pacific Northwest, but even further south into Southern California, where they weren't seeing that when the SOI was positive, right? And so now it's coming across now, and that's going to be amplifying the southern jet over the southeast now, where it wasn't the previous 7 days. So now you're going to see some of those heavier rains of 3, 4, 5 inches into the southeast, and unfortunately that's going to be that severe weather threat. And you can definitely see this is a lot of rain into the portions of the mid-Atlantic, into the northeast. And like I mentioned, but the modeling has it more of rain and not as snow. So here's the latest European model, just between now and say the 20th, just the next 5 days. It really doesn't have much snowfall, so it thinks, based on the speed of the trajectory of this system, it's all about timing, right? It's all about timing. So if this thing slows down, then a lot of this is going to be more snow than it is rain. And the latest GFS upgraded parallel model has the snow. So it has the system slowing down a little bit and has less rain, but more snow for the mid-Atlantic into the northeast. So the 19th is going to be definitely an interesting day and how this is all going to play out. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that. I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after the storm.